Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hobo Mackie. Made it out to my new camp. I'm out here in the Florida Everglades, basically. I don't really know if this is considered the Everglades or not, but I'm out here deep in the swamp. I'm off the beaten trail. I've walked through literally just plain, straight swamp, and I found me my new home. I plan to stay here for quite a while. Nice little opening here. I plan to do me like a little survival garden, so I have me plenty of sun here. I got me a little shovel. I got my solar panel on the tree, charging up my battery bank. And by the way, one thing when I was trying to research solar panels and batteries and try to figure out, because I've had a solar panel before and a battery bank, and the solar panel would not charge the battery bank, and I cannot ever find that kind of information of like what kind of battery bank and solar panel combo. If anybody needs a battery bank solar panel combo, I recommend that NetTech 21 watt solar panel. You get it off of Amazon for $50, and you can charge 2 devices on it. And the Anker Power Core 10,000, not the PD version, the non-PD, which is like power delivery. I mean, maybe the PD version works. I'm just saying, I know these two combos work great. It charges up very fast and very well. And I think I'm gonna get a second power bank because my phone doesn't charge that great with the panel, which was the opposite thing before. In the past, I've had phones that would charge up well and the battery bank wouldn't charge up at all. So it's really dependent, and I don't really understand the science behind solar panels. But if anybody out there needs, because it's an awesome thing to have if you keep your devices and keep yourself free battery. I don't ever have to go into town ever for my power. But it's, sometimes you buy this stuff and it doesn't work, but I guess you can always send it back if it doesn't. So anyway, got my tent set up as well. So got a nice little shaded spot with underneath the palm tree. I got plenty of saw palmettos, and I was kind of maybe planning to make more shade as well, and just kind of start somehow giving myself a shade there. And I got some lentil soup going at the moment. I need to check on it, as a matter of fact. Oh yeah, that's bubbling up just right. All right, so I'm enjoying the lentil soup. The nice thing about it is you can buy it dried beans, really cheap. And I got me kind of a little seat here as well. It's probably gonna break at some point. Hopefully it doesn't do it during the video. But I get these at Walmart for $1. It's 1 pound, and I just put the whole thing in the pot. And I pretty much fill up my pot there. That little mixing bowl is really nice. It was actually the cheapest thing, and actually probably the best thing I could possibly find at Walmart. It's actually a mixing bowl, so it's not with the pots and pans. It's wherever the mixing bowls are at. I guess used for like mixing your flour and stuff together. But I use it. It's a stainless steel and it's lightweight, and I just use it as a cooking pot. Okay, this tree's going. But which that'll actually be good firewood. I got all my firewood here. I didn't collect it. Nature collected that for me. And I like to just put my fire right by a nice stack of wood. But really, there is firewood everywhere, and I'm talking logs, pine. It's just awesome having a nice pine fire out here. That smell, the pine burning, is something I can't convey over the YouTube. But I've kind of been sitting here smudging myself in the fire all day. Definitely want to watch your lentils. You don't want them to boil too hard. And I don't really have a knob like you would at home to turn down my heat. So I kind of just have to take a stick and I think it's actually bubbling as much as I really want it to. And I don't have a rock or anything, so it's literally just sitting on top of the coals that have been burning all morning. I gotta be very careful. It sucks to lose your food. Of course, if I do lose it, it's only $1 worth of food that I'm losing, and I have another package, but I can tell that this is already boiling plenty strongly. So I'm trying to move as many coals away as possible without losing its base, because that thing will fall. I might have to pull it off and pull it to the side. So I think I'm going to try to do that. I wish I had somewhere to set my phone. Okay. I'll just do this real quick. I do have a couple. Alright, I think that's perfect. So I just picked it up and set it to the side off of the coals. It's really just now coming up to a boil, and I don't want it to overboil, which is why I did that. I like to just get a nice simmer, kind of the lowest simmer possible. That's all you want for your lentils. Do not put your salt or anything, acid, into them beforehand. You want to do that afterwards. So you can kind of season them up however you like. You can put in your aromatics, so like garlic powder. Boom. I'll go ahead and throw in a little of that. Alright. I just love garlic. It's one of my favorite things. So pretty much my seasonings, I season everything with. So I got pepper. That's okay to put in now. Lots of pepper. I like to even overdo the seasonings. If you go to a restaurant or something, you really don't control the seasonings too much, you know. It's like it comes out as it is, and the chef gets perturbed if you change up their recipe. But, you know, that's the nice thing about cooking for yourself, is you can season up everything just the way you like it. I don't think these are going to be done yet, but I like to test them. Actually, they might be getting done. A little bit longer. Yeah, lentils, nice thing about lentils, they only take 15 minutes, and you don't have to pre-soak your beans. I prefer pinto beans or some other kind of beans. But then you gotta soak them for like 6 hours, and then you gotta cook them, you know, for like 2 hours. But I think I actually will do them next time for a change of pace, because they are delicious. And I love them, and I think what I'll need is like some sort of a grill, like a metal grill. I've been looking through dumpsters and stuff when I go into town, and I've been looking for a grill. And I haven't found anything. I know Walmart sometimes will sell one, a lightweight, cheap grill, but the Walmart I've been going to doesn't have them. So I need to set up some sort of grill. I haven't found any rocks out here yet. You know, I just got here yesterday. I'm not sure there are rocks out here, but you know, I'm always walking around looking for resources, wild edibles, pretty much anything that I can drag over to my camp and use. I got this little napkin up here in the tree, because I've been trying to tune in my air rifle, but I did it early this morning, like right after I had my coffee, and I'm like all jittery, and I really wasn't having very good groupings. But at least I do have it tuned in good enough where if I do see a squirrel, I can go after it. And I do like to have a little bit of meat once in a while, because I don't know, I can just feel it. It's something I feel. I need the meat. I try to eat cheap as possible. I'll eat grits, lentils, just these sustenance things that are real cheap you can get at Walmart. Oatmeal. I'm not big on oatmeal, but you could do oatmeal, rice. Those are all cheap things. They're like just straight sustenance, like straight carbs, things that give me the energy I need, and I can survive on those alone. And for the most part, but every like 3 days or 2 days, I like to have some meat. So like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I think, I was in town and I got me a ribeye steak from Publix. It was on sale, and seasoned it up like I do everything: salt, pepper, garlic powder, and hot sauce. And it was like the best steak ever. I put some oil on it. I heated up my pan on the fire and just cooked it perfect, and it was just so good. Like, it was like orgasmic good. I was just like, I'm just here by myself, and it was just the best steak ever. But once in a while, I like to have a little bit of meat. I don't know why, but it's probably because of the B vitamins or whatever is in it. So I like to throw a little oil into my lentils. That 1 pound of lentils, I believe, is like 1,600 calories on its own. I try to get like 2,000 a day, I think is good for me. So, a little oil. Let's see. All right, put some in. All right, just throw some oil in there. And I'm also going to throw in, this is the first time I've tried it, I'm just going to throw in a little flour. See if it doesn't thicken up my soup a little bit. I have this flour, so I might as well use it. I need to open it up some. I don't really know how much to use. Just go on the lighter side of things, since it's kind of experimenting. Get that stuff stirred in. And this is going to be like a whole day's calories, all in one sitting. I actually think it's the best way to eat is eat once a day and eat all your calories. I was watching Joe Rogan, and somebody was on there talking about that. Where you should eat once a day for some reason. I don't doubt it. It seems more natural. Well, some people I'm sure would argue and say you're supposed to eat like 6 times a day. Whatever works for you. But really, this is more of a convenience thing rather than any kind of health thing. This way I only have to cook once. So yeah. The last thing I'm going to put into this is salt and hot sauce. I think the hot sauce has salt and acidity to it, I believe. So I'm going to hold those two things off. And I'm going to make it real spicy. I have the Triple X. Let me see. Habanero Triple X El Yucateco. Boom. Love that stuff. And it don't seem to, like, sometimes I eat spicy food and then, I go to do number 2 and it just burns. That stuff don't seem to do that to me. But it can get real spicy to where I'm sitting there eating and I just got snot all coming out my nose left and right. And but I like it like that. So what else? Got my water filter system going here. I dug me a hole, so I dug me a little well. I was hoping that the silt would settle to the bottom. It would all be like nice clean water, but it's all real like silty. So I'm pretty much having to filter all of my water for cooking and for drinking. And it kind of has like a little bit of an earthy, organic flavor, which I've gotten used to. And I know one thing, it might be earthy and organic, but it's probably the best water you can possibly have. I got it filtered so there's no parasites or bacteria. So it should be totally safe to drink. And yet it's still good organic water. You know, you just don't know what they put in your city water taps or what's in the water fountain. You don't even know what they put in them bottled waters. And then sometimes they're totally pure, which isn't necessarily a good thing for your bottled water. Spring water is the best. It's got all your minerals in it, which is important, you know. So went down to the watering hole. I drank a ton of water. Just wanted, and it took a while because the filter's clogging up because of how silty and how much I'm having to filter it. So I drank me about 3 of those bags just to go ahead and get all my water in, and hopefully I don't need any more water for the rest of the day. All right, let's go check on the lentils. They might be done. I might give them a little taste. They're real close. But yeah, they should be done soon. Probably not that much longer. They're not even simmering at this point, so I might need to move some coals over. There's my stick. And a little bit of ash in your food, I'd bet you almost anything it's a good thing. Just go ahead and look it up. See if I'm wrong. So I bet a little bit of ash is good for you. Probably gives it that nice little charred fire flavor to it, especially being mostly pine. So I'm not, you know, some people probably might turn them off to have a little bit of stuff fly into their soup, but certainly doesn't bother me. It's bubbling now again, so that's all I really want. Make sure it's just a little bubbly. Oh yeah. Now lentils on their own aren't very good, but it's when you put in all the flavoring and you get them all seasoned just right, then it's fine. It's got protein, fiber. Gives me a lot of energy. So basically for $1, and then a little bit of oil, a little bit of flour and seasonings, so at most $2. That's all I'm spending today. I spend about $2 a day on my cell phone plan, so $4 is what I spent today, and you know, I can live a long time like that out here. Which is what I plan to do. And I plan to also live off the land as much as possible. I found some berries, yesterday when I got here, and I looked them up, and it was greenbrier berries. And I had to do a lot of research, but I did find one main source, which is eattheweeds.com, a guy named Green Dean. He's in Florida. And he's like a super expert on wild edible plants and that kind of thing. And he said they're edible. So he would not say they're edible if they were not edible, or if there was any doubt they were edible. So I ate a bunch of those. And they were not really like super delicious or anything, but they were decent, you know, for a wild food. And really, when I eat wild foods, I'm mostly just going after the vitamins, the antioxidants, you know, vitamin C, vitamin A, that kind of thing, because that kind of thing at the grocery store is expensive. So is protein, or meat at a grocery store is expensive. So I'm trying to, you know, get my wild meats. As far as fish, I've laid off of it. Because I found out that the Panthers, Florida Panthers out here are dying from mercury poisoning, and it's in all the fish pretty much and all the aquatic life around here. The more the animal's a predator, the more mercury they have. You can still eat them, is what I found out, but you have to kind of space it out, like one fish a month or one a week or something like that. So that's what I'm not really relying on fish anymore. I got away from the canal since I'm not fishing it, and I'm going to see if I can't get squirrels or rabbits, because I've seen both. I'd take a raccoon. I've seen those as well. The only thing I've seen in these woods so far is a rattlesnake, and I guess I could eat one of those, but probably not the first thing that I don't really need food that, I'm not in a survival situation. I can go down to McDonald's into town once in a while, and I'm fine, but I'm trying, and I'm also learning. I'm like a survivalist in training. I'm out here. I learn just through experience, and that's one reason I like to have the internet out here, so I can look things up and I can learn things. And having a phone is extremely important for me. I also, just even social wise, it gives me some sort of somebody I can talk to. You guys are kind of my people I talk to, or my social network. It gives me something that I can also listen to podcasts and that kind of thing. Because obviously I'm out here alone. There's not very many other crazy people that are willing to come out and live like this. And I kind of prefer to have my own personal space. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I kind of it's good to be alone. I like being alone, but you do need some human interaction of some kind. So the phone provides that. Pretty much endless information on the internet. It's a flashlight, GPS. I can identify half the plants out here and figure out if they're edible through an app. And I'm sure there's a lot more things. I have an altimeter on my phone, which it could be useful, especially when you're in the mountains. Pretty much I know I'm like right at sea level pretty much everywhere here in South Florida. But there's a lot of uses for a phone. A camera can even be useful for a variety of reasons. So I do go ahead, and that's one item I think it's a must-have for me. It's not really a must-have, but it's a must-have for me. All right, I think these lentils have to be done. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pull them regardless. They're probably overdone, to be honest. All right, the last thing I need is some of that hot sauce. It don't take much, but I like a lot. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fire right there. And salt. And best way to do it is to kind of go on the lower side maybe, and then get it all stirred around and taste it. Nice little lentil stew here. Let's give it a little taste. It's pretty close. I'll throw a little more salt in it. That's gotta be enough salt. Okay. Get that stirred in. And I'll also probably let it cool off a little. So that's it. Lentil stew. That's my whole day's calories. I can sit there and kind of munch on that, and I'll be all set for today. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this a vid. Get my phone back on the solar panel so I can get some more charge on it. Even though it doesn't charge very well, it charges a little bit. It was up to like 25% from zero, and felt like a few hours. Whereas that battery, it charges them way faster. But regardless, I'll have the battery. So when I'm at night, I can go ahead and surf the internet and that kind of thing. This video is going to be too long for me to post out here in the woods. I'll probably wait and post it whenever I get to a McDonald's with Wi-Fi. All right, everybody. Peace.